Okay, shalom, shalom.
Shalom.
It's Brother Kasha Kuala.
Is that Yala?
It's Zakaria.
We're coming from you from the GMS Atlanta Church here in Georgia, giving all glory, honor, and praises unto
Yahweh, Ba Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba Hashem, Rakha Kodash.
Giving double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace, love, salutation to the elect 144 first fruit. And the topic at hand is these prophecies, man. Especially what's going on in pretty much wartime prophecies. Okay? So, matter of fact, we're just going to go ahead and jump into it. And Brother Nathan Yala, you can go ahead and read, start at the first verse. We're going to start from Isaiah 34 and 1.
All right, this is Isaiah 34, chapter 34, verse 1. Come near, ye nations, to hear, and hearken, ye people. Let the earth hear, and all that is therein, the world, and all things that come forth of it.
That's right. So ain't nobody getting away from what's about to be told. Okay, everybody. That's why even when you read Revelation, what is it, the first chapter? Every eye shall see. You know, so every ear will hear. And the prophets of the Lord, we on the highways highways and byways, week in and week out. We in the spirit of doing 3 videos a day, if not 3 videos a day, at least 3 videos more a week. So it's out there. It's broadcasted. And we're coming in the same spirit as Isaiah. Look, everybody here, this is what we got to, but the Lord got to say to y'all. Okay?
God.
If any brothers, want to expound, you just jump in. Feel free to jump in.
All right, God.
You can go ahead and go to verse 2.
All right, verse 2. For the indignation of the power is upon all nations, and his fury upon all their armies. He had utterly destroyed them. He had delivered them to the slaughter.
That's right. So let's get that word indignation.
Anger.
And it's I think it's quatazapa, and it means wrath, anger, splinter, twig. Nah, it means wrath, anger. Because when you read, Esau be throwing things in there to ultimately catch the elect off guard. But what does the scripture say? Get John 10 and 26. I think it's John 10 and 26.
You said what? John 10 and 26?
Yeah. See what John 10 and 20. I think it's that.
This is wait, let me see. John 10 and 26, it says, but ye believe not, because ye are not of my sheep, as I said unto you.
What is this? Where it said you should not pluck them out of the Father's hands. I don't know if
this is verse 29.
Okay,
my father, I'm gonna just re-say it. John 10 and verse 29. Mm-hmm. My Father, which gave them me, is greater than all, and no man is able to pluck them out of my Father's hand.
That's right. That's why Esau be trying to put these different little definitions in there.
He's the ultimate deceiver, man. Like a damn snake.
And like the elders even said, they say, sometimes the blue letter be going off.
Yeah, that's right. Because ultimately, the white man be on this manipulating things. But when you look into these, I know we're kind of off topic, but when you look into these definitions and stuff, you got to use context and apply. Okay? So with this indignation, which is, what is that? Quatazapa, which would be anger or wrath. Okay? Mm-hmm. All right? Not no goddamn twig or...
What was it?
Yeah, man. Goddamn
Splinter.
Splinter.
Yeah. So you get... and when you read the Strong's definition, of course it says a splinter, which a splinter can have anger or wrath. If you get a splinter in the finger, it hurts. You can be mad.
Especially when you can't get it out.
Exactly. It says as chipped off, figuratively, or more as a spiritual sense.
God.
Rage or strife, foam. It says foam because when an animal, I'm not comparing the omnipotent highest power of everything to an animal, but when an animal gets in a rage, it starts foaming at the mouth. Okay, indignation, a swore, or wrath. And can the brother Babak Kashal get Revelation chapter 14?
You got it, bro?
Okay.
You know what I want? Cup without mixture.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about?
That's what I was trying to bring out today.
Come on. Hey, I was thinking the same thing.
I was trying to bring it out today.
So it says Isaiah 34:2. So Isaiah 34:1, we understand that the Lord is talking to all people, all nations. And that includes you 2/3 of Israel. That's why we got in Zechariah 13. So it says, for the indignation of the Lord is upon all nations. So you got...
Yeah.
Go ahead, bro.
This is Revelation 14:9. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive the mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the power which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation.
Into the cup of his indignation. That's the point. What was that? Revelation 14:10?
14:10.
That's right. So let's get the word indignation in the Greek. Let's find it. There it is. And that is orga, which means anger, the natural disposition, temper. Anger, wrath, indignation, anger exhibited in punishment. Okay? So anger exhibited in punishment. For the indignation of the Lord, the anger or wrath of the Lord is upon all nations. You can go ahead and go back to Isaiah 34 and 2.
And it says, for the indignation of the power is upon all nations, and his fury upon all their armies. Mm-hmm. He had utterly destroyed them. He hath delivered them to the slaughter. That's right. He has delivered them to the slaughter. Because what did the scriptures say? That they shall fight against the Lamb and shall not prevail. If you can find that, get that. I know it's in Revelation. Get 2nd Ezra, the 13th chapter. I can type it in right here.
I'm here, you need anything?
You can start at 1.
Come to 2nd Ezra 13 and verse 1. And it came to pass after 7 days, I dreamed a dream by night. And lo, there arose a wind from the sea, that it moved all the waves thereof. And I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. And when he turned his countenance to look, all the things trembled that were seen under him.
That's right. Who is that speaking about? It's speaking about Yahweh Shai. And it says, you got it, bro? Reread that verse. It says he waxed strong, I think.
Verse 4. And whensoever the voice went out of his mouth. Verse 3. And I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. And when he turned his countenance to look, all the things trembled that were seen under him.
That's right. It says with the thousands of heaven. This is Revelation chapter 5, verse 11. It says, and I beheld, and I heard the voice of many angels round about the throne, and the beasts and the elders, and the number of them was 10,000 times 10,000, and thousands of thousands. This is Daniel chapter 7, verse 10, real quick. It says, Daniel chapter 7, verse 10, a fiery stream issued and came forth from him. Thousands ministered unto him. Ministered meaning served. And 10,000 times 10,000 stood before him. The judgment was set and the books were opened. Okay? When you read Daniel chapter 7, 9 through 12, it's speaking about Yahweh and his appearance and what he looks like, or a glimpse of what he looks like as well. Okay, so reread verse 3 again.
2nd Ezra 13 and verse 3. And I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with thousands of heaven. And when he turned his countenance to look, all the things trembled that were seen under him.
That's right. So he had his legions of angels with him. So read what you got.
It's speaking about those chariots, right?
Yep, that's exactly what it's speaking about.
This is Revelation 12, verse 7. And there was a war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought against his angels, and prevailed not. Neither was there a place found any more in heaven.
Yeah, that's a good one too. There's another one that talks about, I want to say it's in Revelation 20 maybe, but that's a good one too, because that goes back to get Daniel chapter 12 verse 1. Reread that precept, because actually that's a beautiful precept. Because what? The legions of angels are going to be there too. And who's going to be fighting for us during the time, or with us during the time of Jacob's trouble, man?
It's going to be the Archangel Michael.
Exactly. Beautiful. You already know. Daniel 12 and 1.
This is Daniel 12 and 1. And at the time shall Michael stand up, the great prince withstandeth for the children of thy people.
Hold that and reread your precept.
This is Revelation chapter 12, verse 7. And there was a war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought against his angels and prevailed not.
That's right. What that's speaking about is that dog fight that's going to be going on in the heavens or in the sky that we see. Esau going to send his Air Force. He's going to send his F-15, his F-22 Raptors, his SUs, what the Russians have, and all of their jets fighting against Michael and his angels. Because what, Michael's an archangel, which means he was like a general. You know what I'm saying? So he's going to be over certain specific angels, and they're going to have their chariots. It's going to be a dogfight. Well, not really a dogfight, but there's going to be jets flying against chariots trying to shoot them down. That's what's being depicted right there in the book of Revelation. You can finish off that Daniel 12 and 1.
Daniel 12 and 1. And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince withstandeth for the children of thy people. And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be...
Was that the end of verse 1?
Keep
going.
Thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in a book.
That's right. But Michael's going to fight for him. That was a beautiful, beautiful precept, brother. But we can jump back to Isaiah 34. If y'all brothers got precepts, bring them out. You know? Because we're going to get into the downfall of the society that we see and know right now, man. Because this is speaking to all nations, as we read in verse 1. You can reread verse 2 and flow into 3.
This is Isaiah 34, verse 2. For the indignation of the power is upon all nations, and his fury upon all their armies. He hath utterly destroyed them. He hath delivered them to the slaughter. The slain also shall be cast out, and their stink shall come up out of their carcasses, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood.
That's right. Their mountain, because what did the scripture say in the book of Revelation? Again, the blood should be up to the horse's bridle. You still got that, Joel? The 3rd chapter. Just hold Joel's 3rd chapter. So it says, their slain shall also be cast out, and their stink shall come up out of their carcasses. And what was that? Revelation 11 and 8, I think. Let me pull that up real quick. It's 12:44. I just noticed that. You know, you can apply this, but Revelation 11 and 8 is more speaking on a spiritual sense, which would be more specific. A good precept to that would be Ezekiel the 37th chapter. But you can apply it physically, okay? Because what did Isaiah 34 and 3 say? Their slain shall be also shall be cast out, and their stink shall come up out of their carcasses. Because also the scriptures talk about how their bodies, there will be no burial for their bodies, okay?
So they're going to be out on the street.
They're going to be out on the street. I remember the brother at Tazawam at camp today, he was talking about how there's going to be airborne diseases. How is most of that going to happen? Because a lot of people are going to be dead and not buried in the ground And so disease is gonna pop off. It's gonna stink in this land.
Because those dead carcasses are going to release those toxins, which is that natural gases or whatever. Well, not natural gases, but it releases the toxins that's in the body into the air.
You got something called rigor mortis.
Mm-hmm.
You know, once they start going in that phase of rigor mortis, is when them toxins are gonna. It is kind of a natural gas.
Well, yeah.
You're right.
Well, not to mention too, you're gonna have a lot of viruses and bacteria feeding off of those dead carcasses as well.
Yeah.
And they're gonna become stronger, and they're gonna infect those people that are still walking around.
Exactly. This is Revelation 11:8, real quick, and it says, "And their dead bodies shall be in the street of that great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified." That's right. Spiritually, Sodom and Egypt. We know that's talking about America. It says also, where also our Lord Yahushua was crucified. That's right. That's where you get iconoclasm. A mass defacing. That's crucifying someone's image and who they really are. Okay? But literally their dead bodies will be lying in the streets and they won't be lamented or buried. Okay? Any of y'all brothers got precepts?
Con, you're right, because if you mind, I was going to talk a little about Jacob's trouble, since you said that.
Yeah, pull your precept.
Con, this is Micah, if I'm saying that right. Micah, yeah, Con. 5, and I'm going to start at verse 9. It says, "Thine hand shall be lifted up upon thine adversaries," because on the indignation, the brother Kashakwala was talking about earlier, wrath and anger, that's basically payback too, which is recompense.
That's why. Go ahead, bro.
Oh, kind. And the word salat. See, and the word adversary just mean opposite, which is our enemies. So this is mainly, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, it's payback, and we're gonna get some of that payback too. But it says, "Thy hand shall be lifted up upon thine adversaries, and all thy enemies shall be cut off. And it shall come to pass in that day, saith the Lord, that I will cut off thy horses out of the midst of thee, and I will destroy thy chariots."
That's right. So, go ahead, bro.
Oh, which is your artilleries and different vehicles too.
There you go.
He's gonna cut that off because like the brother was saying earlier, y'all gonna see y'all jets. Y'all gonna go against the Most High. But nah, man, y'all ain't gonna do that with the Most High, man. He's gonna cut that off. Then it says right here, verse 11 says, "And I will cut off the cities of thy land and throw down all thy strongholds," which are the different mountains, which is different governments, different bodies that Esau has, and also that's the city being boarded up too. You ain't gonna be going in certain areas too.
Yeah, it goes back to that second Ezra's 15th and 16th chapter, if I'm not mistaken. And reread that verse.
Verse 11, "And I will cut off the cities of thy land and throw down all thy strongholds."
Yeah, you can apply Jacob's trouble to that.
Yeah,
but ultimately, what that's speaking about is that they're different cities because whenever they took something over, they named it after their names.
Yeah.
I think you can read that in Book of Songs. I forgot where that was. And also, it says their strongholds, all their military bases that they fortified in all these other countries. Those are strongholds. You got bases in Okinawa, Japan. You got bases over there in South Korea. In Italy and all those other nations and stuff. Those are their strongholds, and he's gonna cut all that off. You got it, bro.
In verse 12, "And I will cut off witchcrafts out of thine hand, and thou shalt have no more soothsayers."
That's right.
"Thy graven images also will I cut off, and thy standing images out of the midst of thee, and thou shalt no more worship the work of thine hands."
That's right. And it's set up there in what, witchcrafts and soothsayers. That goes back to your media. When you go, you go in the word media, it goes into medium. Which is heavily demonic because you can channel things through a medium.
Yeah.
Go ahead, bro.
I was saying, and they control the narrative too. You know, you watch the media or whatever, they control what you hear, what you see, you know, and they produce propaganda, which manipulates your mind. And a lot of y'all out there, you know, y'all jakes, man, y'all don't dig any deeper than what they saying.
That's right. You have no questions. You know what I'm saying?
Because they're content.
Yep. They're content.
Through the soothsayers and the witchcraft, like the CNN, the whole CNN system is demonic. That fake news, that's that soothsaying. Like, yeah, another person died and this. Nah, man, that ain't what we want. That ain't what the man of the Lord wants. Even though we know at the same time y'all not finna give it to us, because we know what's going on through Yahweh Shem Yahushua, you know, and the prophecies, you know, war going on and things of that nature. You know. And I'm gonna continue on. Verse 14 says, "And I will pluck up thy grooves out of the midst of thee, so will I destroy thy cities." In verse 15, which is the last verse. "And I will execute vengeance and anger." See, he want to put it out there too. It says vengeance and anger. We went to that, you know, indignation, which is wrath and anger, not no broken twig and nothing like that. He made it clear to what he was talking about. It says, execute vengeance and anger and fury upon the heathen, which once again are adversaries, such as they have not heard.
That's right. You know, and that goes back to the same thing where we just read in Daniel 12:1. And you can see that Micah and Isaiah were in the same spirit, because Isaiah said the same thing in verse 2. He said his fury upon all their armies, you know, and he was like his vengeance and his anger, and that's indignation, you know. All the prophets were in a synonymous spirit, man. You know.
I got a precept real quick.
Go ahead, bring it out, bro.
This is Matthew chapter 24, starting at verse 7, and this is actually what's happening right now. It's that future prophecy we were talking about. Well, starting at verse 6, it says, "And you should hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you're not troubled." So, you know, these things are going to happen with the men of the Lord. You know, you need not worry about, you know, these things. You should be excited that these things are happening, because you see the prophecies coming to pass as we speak. And it says, "For these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation." Isn't that what's happening right now? You know, you have all these nations rising up against nations. You got America going into Syria. You got Russia telling America to back off. You got the UK, and you got France backing the US.
Well, that when it says kingdom against kingdom, that's kingdom, because nations goes back to the word ethnos, which is ethnicity. So when it says nation against, those are race wars. You can still apply it to that. Everybody's going back to their nationality. You got it, bro.
They true form.
Well, then going back into what you're saying about the kingdom, it says, and next in the same sentence it says, "and kingdom against kingdom." So that's what's happening. So you got like China, you got France, you got the UK, you got Britain, you got, you know, United States. You got all these armies rising up against one another. You know, and then you said, and there should be famines. What's happening over in Venezuela right now? You know. You know what I'm saying? Like, them people over there, they didn't have a currency breakdown, so you have a huge population of people starving. Well, what was we watching the video the other day about people eating food out of the garbage and recooking it?
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
I put that video in the group.
Yeah, so it's like, you know, and that's happening, and then you hear about pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places. I mean, the earthquakes are happening in diverse places, you know. And then it says, "All these are the beginning of sorrows, and they shall deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and you shall be hated of all the nations for my sake."
That's right.
You know.
That's right. And you know what? We're in the time of salvation, man. So when he says y'all should be delivered up and they should kill you, man, the prophets in the book of Acts went through that. The men, even before the Gospels, went through that. The book of the Maccabees went through that. We're in the time of our salvation. And also, I know it does say in Revelation 20:4, saw them who got beheaded for, you know, pretty much confessing the name of Yahweh Shai, you know. But that's not going to be everybody's lot. And even if you die, you won. You conquer death, which is spoken about in 1 Corinthians, the 15th chapter.
What does it say? It say, "Be faithful even unto death, and I will give you a crown of life."
Yep. And also in the book of Psalms, it says, "It's precious in the sight of the Lord the death of His saints," because you died for this thing, man. You stuck it out until the end, man. So that means you were a predestinated one. You know. Mm-hmm. But we can jump back to the Isaiah 34 and start at 3 and flow into 4.
Okay. This is verse 3. The slain also shall be cast out, and their stink shall come up out of their carcasses, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood.
That's right.
And all the host of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll, and their host shall fall down as a leaf falleth off of the vine, and as a falling fig from the fig tree.
That's right. So go. You still holding Joel?
God.
Yeah, hold Joel. And get Joel 3. I think start at verse 9.
God, I was holding Amos too.
No, hold Joel. Here, you can read it from right here. I got it
up. Joel 3 and 1.
Can you see it, Will?
Yeah, come. For behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, I will also gather all nations and will bring them down.
It says, "For behold, in those days, and in that time, that I shall bring again captivity of Judah and Jerusalem." Judah being the southern tribe, and Jerusalem being the northern tribe. And Judah and Jerusalem, which we were brought back into captivity, and we're serving that captivity now. So he's saying, at this time that we're in right now. Okay, so go ahead, verse 2.
Con, I will also gather all nations, and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat.
And Jehoshaphat, what does Jehoshaphat mean? You still holding 2 Ezra 13?
Con.
Just hold that, because this is going to go into that.
Con.
Because the valley of Jehoshaphat, when you read 2 Ezra 13, that's what's going to go on in the valley of Jehoshaphat. Because where this is taking place is in the valley of Jehoshaphat. And 2 Ezra is the 13th chapter. It's one of my favorite chapters. Because it tells you how Yahushua going to get busy over there, man. And cleanse that land. Okay? Let's get the word Jehoshaphat. Okay? Just for edification purposes. It's Yahweh Shaphat. All right? It means Yahweh has judged. Okay? So the Yahweh's judgment. Okay? That's what that area is called when he's going to gather all the nations. All right? Just like he says, all of the host of heaven shall be dissolved. Where shall they be dissolved? In the valley of decision, in the valley of Jehoshaphat. Okay? That's where all the nations are going to be dissolved. Okay? Go ahead and read from the word.
And plead with them, therefore my people, and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations, and parted my land.
That's right. All right. So go back to Isaiah 34 and 4.
This is verse 4. And all of the hosts of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll.
Rolled together as a scroll. What does that sound like?
A nuclear mushroom. Mushroom cloud.
There you go.
It goes up and it rolls.
That's right. You got it, bro.
Con. And all the hosts of heaven shall fall down as a leaf falleth off of the vine, and as a falling fig from the tree, from the fig tree.
Done for, man. Read verse 35. Verse 5.
Verse 5. Mm-hmm. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven.
My sword shall be bathed in heaven. What is that? A nuclear missile.
A nuclear missile.
It's a nuclear weapon. I think in Job, I think the 20th chapter, if I'm not mistaken, it talks about the glittering sword.
Yeah.
You know.
And the arrows in Jeremiah too. It goes back to those same missiles. And if I'm not mistaken, Revelation says the exact number of the missiles that was going to hit America. What was it 200,000?
200,000.
Like 200 million.
200 million.
200 million missiles.
200 million missiles.
That's literally, you can almost a missile for every person. Almost a missile for every person. Because there's millions to be saved. Because when you read Zechariah 13 and 8 and 9, it talks about the 1/3 in that land. And that land is America. When you take 1/3, most of America's Israelites. Whether they be confusions of faces or just like you, just a straight Israelite.
Mm-hmm.
But millions of them are to be saved. Okay?
Yeah, so if you take like the 144 and then their families, you know.
Pretty much every American here has literally one nuclear ICBM missile for their ass.
With their name on it.
With their name on it.
You get a missile. You get a missile.
I know. For real, man. For real. So it says, for my sword shall bathe in heaven. Go ahead, bro.
It shall come down upon Idumea.
All right. Go ahead.
And upon the people of my curse to judgment.
That's right. It says, it shall come down upon Idumea. Idumea are the Edomites. That's a Greek way of saying Esau or Edom. And it says, and upon the people of my curse. Who are the people of his curse? You two-third nigga Israelites. Okay? To judgment. Because this is a righteous judgment. There's two forms of righteous judgment. The good side and the bad side. Because even though he's going to kill a lot of people, that's righteous. Because they deserve it. The scriptures say you reap what you sow. You know? And also, what is it? You got the right, you got the good side of the righteous judgment.
You have the right hand and left hand.
The right hand, it's a balance, which is the salvation. Okay? So read verse 6.
This is Isaiah chapter 34, verse 6. Mm-hmm. And the sword of Yahweh is filled with blood. Because in the book of Revelation, it says it looked like he was trodden in a wine press.
In a wine press, God.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead, brother.
He was putting some work.
Doing his thing, man.
It made fat with fatness, and with the blood of the lambs and goats, with the fat of the kidneys of rams, for the Lord hath sacrificed in Basra, and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea.
Again, Esau, Basra, Esau. Give me Genesis 33 and 36 and 33. 36 and 33. First, read 36 and 1 and then jump down to 33 so we know who we're talking about. Because when you read Basra, go ahead, bro. Let the scriptures explain.
All right, come on. This is Genesis 36 and verse 1. Now, these are the generations of Esau, who is Edom.
Okay. These are generations of Esau, who is Edom. Mm-hmm. Jump down to verse 8.
Come on, verse 8. Thus dwelt Esau in Mount Seir. Esau is Edom. Okay, so that's another clarification. We're speaking about Esau, Edom. All right, just wanted to clear that up. 33, verse 33. Come on. And Bela died, and Jobad, the son, that thou mayest come in unto me. And he said, it's a lot, man. All right. I'm just reread that. Mm-hmm. All right, Genesis 36 and 33. And Bela died, and Jobab, the son of Zariah of Basra, mm-hmm. reigned in his stead. There you go. That's where you get Basra from. Okay, so we know Basra goes back to Edom when you go back to Genesis, the 36th chapter. So we know when it says in the scriptures, when it says Basra,
it's talking about Esau. When it says Teman, it's talking about Esau. When it says Idumea, when it says Edom, when it says Esau, it's talking about Esau. Okay? All right? We can go ahead and drop Isaiah 34 and let's get, if y'all got precepts. If not, jump back to that 2nd Ezra 13.
I know you want me to drop the Amos too?
Yeah, you can drop that.
I'll just go to 2nd Ezra.
Because, I was going to, yeah, you can drop the Amos.
2nd Ezra.
Start at 4.
13 and verse 4. And whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burnt that heard his voice.
That's right. Go ahead.
Like as the earth faileth when it filleth the fire. And those chariots just spitting out that fire, man. Mm-hmm. Just zapping you 2/3 niggas and you Esau. I got and, all right, Con. Verse 5. And after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of the heaven, and subdued the man that came out of the sea. Verse 6. But I beheld, and lo, he had graved himself a great mountain, and flew up upon it. But I would have seen the region or place whereout the hill was graven, and I could not.
That's right. Ezra was just trying to explain that big old chariot that Yahweh Shai was on to the best of his ability. And he was like, man, it was like a big old mountain, man. He didn't know how else to explain it. You know what I'm saying? All right, so keep reading.
All right, yeah, come. Verse 9. And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war.
That's right. Keep going.
But only I saw that he sent out of his mouth, as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks of tempest.
A tempest. All right. So hold that real quick. We're gonna get a quick clip, man. So so Jay can see it.
That's War of the Worlds.
It's a great movie. Fuck that. All right, you notice how they turn it into dust. Keep reading, because what it says in verse 10, those are speaking about those laser beams that you're just seeing. Keep going,
Yeah, those laser beams spin out the mouth. Verse 11.
Which is coming out of his chariot.
The chariots,
So go ahead.
Verse 11. And they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest.
So a laser beam, what you just saw right there. So go ahead.
And fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight.
That's right. We fell with violence against the multitude that was prepared to fight. Okay? Because what'd you read in verse 9? No, verse 8. Reread verse 8.
Verse 8. After this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid, and yet durst fight.
Don't the scriptures say the Most High is the God of war? So don't he want to fight? Get Revelation 17 and 14. 17 and 14. So he wants to fight, man. So go back to
verse 11.
Yeah, verse 11.
Verse 11. And they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight, and burned them up every one, so that upon a sudden of a innumerable multitude, nothing was to be perceived, but only dust, the smell of smoke. And I saw this, I was afraid.
Okay, so let's rewind this clip. Because it said the only thing I could perceive was dust and the smell of smoke. Turn to dust, turn to dust, turn to dust, turn to dust. It was an innumerable amount of people. Now it's just diminishing and dwindling away. Try to sit in the car. You're not getting away, Playboy. I love seeing this. There's a bunch of Edomites getting fucked up too.
And that's a righteous thing too. As we were saying earlier.
Look at this. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, that judgment that's gonna come to you Edomites in 2/3, especially you Edomites, man. That's actually what's gonna come to. That's righteous in the Lord's eyes. Him getting you back, zapping your ass, just getting rid of you, like a piece of shit you are. That's a righteous thing. Yeah, you got it, bro.
I was about to say, man, and that's what y'all get, man. I mean, for all the stuff that y'all did and continue to do, that's what you get. I mean, you don't have no rest, man. Like you can't lay down at night unless you do somebody wrong, kill somebody, hurt somebody, steal something from somebody.
It's in the book of Psalms.
Think evil of them, man. And that goes back to Psalm, man. That crafty counsel, man. Y'all always thinking, how can we get this nigga right here? Or how can we get him, her, fire this person and mess with this person? Just because we know this is our kingdom. And the scriptures said that y'all know that y'all have a short time. So keep at it, man.
Hey,
keep at
it. Live it up. Live it
up.
Because
the Lord is coming back to just mess you up, man.
Get Limitations, the 4th chapter. I think starting at like verse 9.
Tom, you want me to drop Ezra's?
Yeah, you could drop Ezra's. You still got Revelation 17 and 4?
Yeah, I got it.
You get Limitations 4. Get that.
All right. 17 and 4 or 17 and 14?
14.
Okay,
yeah.
All right. Revelation 17 and 14. These shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them, for he is...
That's what I wanted to...
Okay. He is Lord of lords and King of kings, and they are with him are called and the chosen and faithful. So those are 144.
144. But they said they tried to fight him and did not prevail against who? The Lamb. Who's the Lamb?
Yahweh Shah.
And when we read 2nd Ezra, the 13th chapter, did it seem like they prevailed?
No.
When only thing Ezra saw after that was a smell of smoke and just dust. Like literally, nothing else. Them laser beams chopped y'all ass up. Like an AK-47 chops a nigga up, man. That's why I call it a chopper. You know what I'm saying?
Choppers and helicopters.
We can probably end it off with Limitations, the 4th chapter.
All right, come. And this is also lets you know how stupid Edomites are. Edom, Esau, you so-called white people, man. Like here it is. You trying to go against an angelic force, man. A force from another dimension that you know that's gonna fuck you up, but you gonna have at it, man. And that's prophecy too, man. Through Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah putting that thought in your mind to go against him. Cause at the end of the day, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah or Yahweh Shah, he wanna get down to and have some fun with it too.
We laughing at y'all while y'all turning it dust.
Yeah, pointing like stupid ass nigga, Mike. Yeah,
it's gonna be fun.
Come on, let me take. What is on this?
Go one more page over.
Yeah, it was.
No, this way.
It was fun for them when it was hanging and butchering us.
4 and 21.
Come on, I got you right here, bro.
Go ahead and say what you were saying, bro.
I was saying it was fun for them when it was hanging and butchering us. I mean, all the postcards and pictures they would take. You know what I'm saying?
Laughing and shit.
Laughing like this is funny.
Having a picnic.
For real.
What? Pick a nigga. Hang that nigga and let's eat.
Let's eat that nigga. Like who would think of such a thing to do? Let's pick a nigga and eat him.
That's why Hebrews says anyone as profane as Esau, man.
You're a profane ass based person, man.
Exactly. Fuck. All right.
Yeah. We're gonna go in hard on it. A couple hours and we keep talking about this guy. But yeah, this Limitations 4 and 20:21. Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom.
Okay, max out your credit cards. Go have sex with as many women as you can. You know, go buy a high rise. Go buy you a Ferrari, Lamborghini, and Mercedes. Fuck off in your kingdom. Go ahead.
Khan, that dwelleth in the land of Uz. The cup also shall be passed through unto thee, thou shalt be drunken, and shalt make thyself naked. The punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished. O daughter of Zion, he will no more carry thee away unto captivity.
That's right.
He will visit thine iniquity. O daughter of Edom, he will discover thy sins.
That's right. So, live it up now, man. You better fucking live it up now. Because you getting that cup passed down that goes back to Isaiah, the 13th chapter, verse 21. Where you're not getting away because your iniquity of your fathers. You know. Just live it up now while you got the fucking chance. Because you damn sure ain't gonna get the chance in the kingdom. I'm whooping your ass 100% of the time. 100% of the time. Okay? It's gonna be no fucking break, bro. You know? Y'all think y'all gonna take a nap. I'm gonna beat your ass to wake right the fuck back up. And make this big ass boulder into a small boulder. And I'm gonna throw another boulder in your head. You might die, but I'm gonna bring you back to life. And you're gonna make that one into another small boulder.
Break it down with your teeth, man.
Ain't gonna be, you just ain't gonna die. And be like, no, ain't gonna be none of that.
Nah, man, you gonna...
Like, we gonna leave you in that broken body to work some more.
Yeah. And like the brother was saying, you know, how we're gonna punish you. We're gonna punish you each second and the numbers that make that second. Each one of those. We gonna get in your ass, Esau, man.
Hell yeah. You know?
Ain't no break. Ain't no
break.
You can't even take a full breath without getting your ass beat.
The scriptures say there's no repentance for you when you read Hebrews the 12th chapter. So if there's no repentance, that means there's no mercy for you either. Because giving a chance to repent is mercy. Meaning, I'm sorry. You don't have that chance to be like, I'm sorry. Nah.
Well, Edomites, they're not sorry anyway. That's why they keep doing what they doing.
Matter of fact, get Revelation chapter 9.
You got a break?
I think. Let me see. I think it's Revelation chapter 9. Because you said they're not sorry. You know what the scriptures do say they're not sorry. I think it's chapter 9 and 20. It says, chapter 9 and 20, it says, "And the rest of the men which were not killed by these plagues, yet repented not of their works of their hands." It says the men who were not killed. Who's going to be the men who are not killed? The elites.
The elites, yeah. They're going to be in their mountains, in the bunkers. Because it's a...
Jeremiah 16 and 16.
God, and to prove that too, it's a show on Netflix I was talking to this brother about one day. Extraordinary Homes. Each and every last one of those homes are in a goddamn mountain. And they have all the fine wines in there and everything, man. We were going to go ramshack that place, man.
Hell yeah, man.
Go kick in your doors and take your nobles and put them in chains of fetters.
Kind of like
the scripture say. That's right, bro.
You know, you hope for a let that's looking at this video and the rest of you Akim, and even you brothers, man, you should look at the show because it'll show you how he's living and where Esau's living, man, in these mountains. That's his dwelling place.
Clefts of the rock.
Yeah, clefts of the rock.
When you read Obadiah,
come on.
You know, him that dwelleth in the clefts of the rock, man. But I'm gonna finish this and we can end it off. It says. Revelation 9 and 20, "And the rest of the men which were not killed by the plagues, yet repented not of their works, not of the works of their hands." So they didn't repent for the slavery they put us through, the rape, rob, and murders that they committed. That they should not worship devils and idols of gold. So they kept worshiping Baal and Satan, and silver, and brass, and stone, and of wood, which neither can see, nor walk, Salat, no hear, no walk. Neither repented they of their murders, fucking devils, nor of their sorceries, which we went into with the soothsaying.
The soothsaying, the witchcraft.
The Micah 5, which you brought out. The medium. That's right, bro. And it says, nor of their fornication, spiritually fornicating against them. Well, they really can't fornicate against the Most High. But spiritually, they made us, fornicate against the Most High. Okay? Nor of their thefts. They stole, they raped, robbed, murdered, Nahum 3:1. They did all that, man. They did all of it, and guess what? The ones who survived it still didn't apologize and said, I'm sorry. Because they think they're going to come out the clefts of the rocks. So, okay, the missile fire's over. Let's get out and start a new world order now.
Nope.
And nope. You're going to see a glowing body in a decked out garment with an afro the size of the planet.
Damn, 28
open up your hatch to your thing. Grab your simple ass like the brother beautifully quoted. What was it you quoted? With the fetters of iron? Take your kings.
They're going to take your nobles and fit them with fetters of iron. Can't remember the exact scripture, but
it's on point.
Yeah.
You on point though. We going to slap them things. I'm telling you, them fetters of iron are going to be 18 million tons too. And your feeble ass bodies with your 9 heart transplants is going to have to get the fuck up. And your first job, like the scriptures say, is going to have to bury the dead bodies. That's going to be your first task in the kingdom. Okay?
Ooh, that's a lot, too.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot, because what it say in 2nd Ezra, there should be more of them that, pretty paraphrasing, that died than to be saved. There's going to be a lot.
Man.
And you're going to have to bury all of them, man. Y'all brothers got any closing remarks?
Oh, just me, man. I just can't wait to get this party started.
That's right.
Yeah, at the this whole lesson was, at the end of the day, man, you Americans, you Russians, Esau, and you 2/3 niggas are going down, man. But especially you, Esau, because we was bringing that prophecy mainly towards you. The missiles is coming, the destruction is coming. The scriptures say, "Wake up out of sleep, because the time is nigh." I'm just paraphrasing, or the time is nearer than what we believe. And hey, like you said, man, the party's gonna get started real quick. The Lord's speeding time up.
No black eyed pea.
Yeah, the Lord's speeding the times up, and it's prophecy happening right in our faces, and y'all gonna get it.
That's right.
Yeah.
So hey, that goes to you 2/3 niggas and all you other heathens. Y'all ain't safe either. Ain't nobody safe, man. Everybody gonna get roasted.
I join on the Esau. Y'all getting it too.
Yep. Though hand join in hand, the wicked shall not go unpunished, man. So with that, I hope y'all brothers, mainly the elect, were edified, but I hope y'all sincere Akim out there were edified. And again, we give all glory, honor, and praises unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakak, Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, who Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai put the spirit on them to teach us the correct doctrine. Okay? And a peace, love, salutation to the elect 144 first fruit. All right? Shalom.
Shalom.